And I want to kick the podcast off with that Anthem review. I know a lot of you were looking forward to it. I seen some snarky comments on my Anthem video where I was talking about how to master the combo system. Oh, this man is doing everything but reviewing the game because he knows it's trash and this, that, and the third, because motherfucker's just funny. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I have a history of like putting out reviews late because I actually play my games. But anyways, at this point in which I'm recording this podcast, I have over 50 hours on the game. I have a Masterwork Colossus. I have an Epic Ranger, and then I just started working with the what's the name, the Interceptor and the Storm. But I put in over 50 hours in the game, and I have a Masterwork already, a fully decked out Colossus. He's like, his power level is 487. The max power level is 500 in terms of like gear and stuff like that. So I have a good grasp on how the game plays and what's going on with it after all my time with it. And I also took some feedback from the last podcast, because the last podcast is the first time that I did, like, I freestyled a review. I kind of just threw some notes on paper and just kind of talked about how I felt about the game. This time I made more intricate notes for Anthem. And the way I'm going to format this is I'm still going to freestyle how I feel about the game, but this time I wrote down specifically positive and negatives that I have about the game. I wrote down 8 positives that I have about the game and 7 negatives that I have about the game, and then as well as like some solutions on how I think they can improve the game, because I'm not here to just bash it unlike most people. I actually want to see the game get better. Also, before we get into the review, just so you guys know, I was provided a free copy of the game from EA. So, I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to trust what I have to say. I was not paid by EA to talk about this game. Simply, they gave me a free copy of the game. And if you're familiar with my content, you know free don't mean shit to me. I'm going to still talk my shit. I'm going to still give the positives and the negatives. I'm not going to be overly positive. I'm not going to be overly negative. I'm just going to tell you what I saw in my 50 plus hours of playing this game. Because, and the main reason too is because the last reviews that I did, I noticed when I just kind of talk and I throw the positives and negatives in the middle of the conversation, a lot of things seem to get lost in translation. So this time I'm gonna be like, all right, on the positive side, and then I'm gonna give you a negative, so you can't say I'm playing favoritism. I'm going to go back to back to back, and I have almost as many positives as negatives, so I don't even want to hear shit about this fucking game. Let's get into it. All right, so first positive is what's the name? The story was halfway interesting. This is decent. It was decent to me. And when I say the story, I mean specifically the main campaign. There is a main campaign in the game with full-blown cutscenes. The voice acting was really good. The graphics were really good. The story was interesting to me. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was like there's like these monsters, these titans. The world is interesting. People are trying to control the titans. They're trying to blow shit up, and there's this Anthem that controls it, and this evil group known as the Dominion trying to take over the world and stuff like that. And you got to use your javelin to stop it. It was somewhat interesting. I'll say this: when the main cutscenes played, I sat up and I paid attention. It interested me enough that got me from point A to B. That's what I'll say. It wasn't some fucking Game of the Year, God of War type shit or fucking The Last of Us, but I was interested enough that I paid attention compared to something like Destiny. The story just did not interest me. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But on the negative side of things, this is the first negative. I found the side quest to be not particularly interesting. In the game, the main hub world is Fort Tarsis, and you walk around Fort Tarsis and you collect side quests from different people inside of the fort. You talk to them, you get to know them, and to be honest, I played on PC, by the way. On PC, I was playing with an Xbox controller. B was to skip the dialogue. It was a lot of B, press B, press B, press B. These motherfuckers was boring as shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was not interesting. So mainly, I just like the main story, but like the side quests, or admittedly, a lot of these characters were boring, and it's disappointing because Bioware has such a pedigree for creating very story-driven games. Especially because I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. For those of you unfamiliar with my content, some of my favorite missions were side quests in Mass Effect. Punching the fucking reporter every game, I love that shit. You remember the side quest just as much as the main quest, and I feel like they dropped the ball right there. It just wasn't a lot of interesting things going outside the main quest. So that's my first negative. Second positive. The world is beautiful. The world of Anthem is fucking beautiful. Yes, they did downgrade it from the original reveal E3 like 2 years ago or something like that. But even still, at least on the PC, I've heard the console version is fucking bomb atrocious to look at. But on PC, the game looks fucking amazing. The water, the reflections, the lighting, the vegetation, the vast use of colors, it all looks great. And there's a lot of different looking environments. You have like fucking desolate areas, very lush forest, jungly areas. You have some areas where like fucking there's like fire. It all just looks fucking great. It's one of the worlds that you want to be in. You really want to be inside of this world. And they did a great job with the art design and designing the world. And the map is a pretty decent size. It's not humongous, but it's a pretty decent size to fly around. You'll see a lot of different things. My second negative is that even though the world is beautiful, it can feel empty at times. What's the name? Like when you fly around the world in free play or in the missions, you are going to see like birds here and there. You're going to see some monsters on the ground, but I feel like they could have put more into the world to make it feel like alive. It doesn't even have to necessarily be things that you had to fight. Just more like, I refuse to believe that there's all this vegetation in the world and there's not a bunch of animals. Like at most you're gonna find like 2 or 3 animals at a time. Like there's no like pack of wolves or some shit like that. It would have just been nice to see that there was more in the world. It just felt like the world was empty at times. And there's only like certain parts of the map, but when you notice it, you really do notice it. I don't know if that was technical limitations or not, but it would have been nice to see them put a little bit more effort into actually filling the world with more lore and characters and fucking animals and shit. My third positive, flight is amazing in this game. It's my favorite part of the game. You really do feel like Iron Man regardless of what suit you're wearing. Fucking the Ranger, which is kind of the all-purpose one, or the Colossus, aka the Hulk Buster, and then you got like the Ninja one and the Interceptor, and then you got basically a wizard in the Storm. You feel like Iron Man. The flight just feels intuitive. It's very easy to pick up. It's fun. I like the system they did where like your system your suit can't overheat, but if you fly close to the water it'll slow down the heating, or if you fly into the like a waterfall it'll cool you off. So you have to pay attention to kind of how your suit flies. It's fun to dodge around. You just get this sense of freedom in Anthem that I don't really get in other games, to the point where I was actually playing the Division beta this past Friday, and the Division 2, like the shooting is great, the movement's okay, but like it was kind of weird to go from playing Anthem, in my opinion, back to the Division, just because like you felt so grounded. Anthem does a really good job of making you feel free, and that's probably my favorite thing about the game. I'm a big, y'all know, if you come through to the streams, y'all know I'm a super Marvel fan. It's the only freaking movies I watch, and I feel like a damn Marvel superhero, so I'm never gonna complain about that. Third negative, dialogue does not affect the campaign. So in the game, this is a Bioware game. Bioware has been known for having dialogue trees. If you're unfamiliar with that, that's where you get to basically choose what you want to say. And in previous Bioware games, dialogue trees always affected the game. What you said would affect the story or how people respond to you. In this game, you can choose what you want to say, but it doesn't do anything. So what was the point of fucking putting it in the game? It was a waste of resources that could have went to something to improve other like gameplay mechanics. Instead, you'll talk to people and they'll give you option A or option B, but to be honest, you'll still just get the quest. The person isn't going to be mad at you. It isn't going to deny you the quest. It isn't going to change the story. So why put it in the game, Bioware? I feel like that's a way that you could. I feel like hardcore Bioware fans, that type of stuff is what pisses people off, and it just felt stupid that was in the game. I'd rather you just have a cutscene where you just give me a fucking quest. What is the point of me talking? Positive number 4. There are 4 playstyles, like I said, and you have the Colossus, the Tank, the Ranger all around. You got the Ninja and the Interceptor and the Storm that plays lightning. And what's really cool is when you play the game, you earn loot. Whatever, like let's say you're playing the Colossus, you're mainly going to earn loot for the Colossus, but because they want to encourage you to try other javelins, sometimes you will earn loot for other javelins even though you're playing another one. And what's the name? You're not tied to one javelin, which I really like. You start off with one, and then like level 5 or something like that, you unlock another one, then like level 15 or something, you lock another one, then like level 26 you lock another one, and you can switch between them in missions anytime and grind whatever one you want. All the playstyles feel unique. They have cool abilities, and they have a lot of really cool loot, even though I think they need to improve the loot system, but whatever. I like that there's variety in the playstyle, and there's something for everybody here. My fourth negative is mission variety. Anthem is a looter shooter for those of you unfamiliar. If you're not familiar with looter shooters, think Borderlands, Destiny, The Division. It's a game all about getting better loot, and like I just said earlier, like they need to improve the loot system, which I guess I can't really complain about because there is a patch coming out soon where they're gonna improve it, so whatever. But yeah, the mission variety is not very good in this. It's a lot of defend the computer missions, go defeat waves of enemies, or uploading stuff. Or if you're not defending the computer, you gotta upload to the computer and defend it. So it's a lot of like Destiny type of missions. I think the only reason I was able to look past the lack of mission variety, because I have complained about that with Destiny, is that you're not grounded. Like it's honestly the flight. You don't have to sit there and like somebody can just fly around and flank and shoot and all that other stuff. So if the flight wasn't there in Anthem, I feel like I would have got bored really quickly because of the mission variety. It'd be nice to see them in future updates include more different types of missions, which is a positive, because I will say all the updates in the game are going to be free, so I do like that. So maybe in the future they'll fix that. I don't know if anybody listens to that. That's some feedback. There needs to be more mission variety. Fifth positive, customization. The customization in this game is probably some of the deepest customization I've seen in a long time. I'm talking about, you can get lost in the menus. Like it was points where like we were playing the game, I was playing the game with my friends, and it's like, yo, we're trying to launch a mission, can you hold on, I gotta do this paint job and all this stuff. So not only is there like a ton of different like colors that you can mix and match, there's also different types of textures. There's a ton of different textures that you can put on your javelin, and you can mix and match it, and it can create all these cool, to the point where like the community Anthem page on Twitter, they're actually like sharing like some of the best designs that people are making with their javelins. That's really dope. So the customization is really deep, and on top of that, they have vinyls, which are basically like custom paint jobs. Like you can get an N7, you can get an N7 paint job on your javelin, which is really dope. So I really like that. And they have like the helmets and legendary armors and stuff like that. So if you're really into like customization and making yourself look cool, you definitely can get lost in the menus. So shout out to them for the customization, and over time it's only going to get better, because there's a store in the game that you, by the way, don't have to spend any actual money on, because they have in-game currency and they're pretty generous with the money. I have not spent any money on microtransactions for this game. I bought all the skins with in-game money from just playing the game. So shout out to them for having deep customization. Hopefully that continues to improve. My fifth negative is there's something in the game called the launch bay. And the launch bay is basically the easiest thing I can compare it to is it's like the tower in Destiny. It's kind of like a hub world where you can meet with other players. But the launch bay, in my opinion, is fucking pointless. So if you go play free play, it'll automatically just match you up with other players. Or even if you play a mission, if you don't have friends to play with in this game, it'll matchmake you with other players to play with. So what's the point of the launch bay? You literally go up to the launch bay and you just use your emotes. There's nothing to do there. There's no missions. There's no exclusive items. You can go to the forge there, which allows you to customize your javelin, but you can also do that in Fort Tarsus. So what's the point of opening up another loading screen to go to the launch bay? It's just fucking pointless. They need to take it out the game, unless they're gonna do something with it. It's just, I don't care to fucking use emotes in the damn game. Whatever. This shit is pointless. Anyways, positive number 6, combo system. They have a combo system in this game, which is a lot of fun, which means this game is much better if you play with friends, not because, oh, you guys are joking around and laughing, but it's much better because the entire mechanics of the game is designed around teamwork and working together and timing and learning how to prime and detonate. And if you're unfamiliar with that system, I did a whole video on it, on how to properly combo in Anthem. It's just a lot of fun to have a friend throw out a primer, then you detonate and everybody detonates and all these crazy explosions. The game is breathtaking with the special effects. I still think they need to dial it back a little bit, because there's a lot of times where like you can't see what the fuck is going on because there's so many flashing ass lights and shit. But it's dope. It's dope. I enjoy the combo system. It really encourages teamwork for high level play. My sixth negative, long loading screens. Oh my lord, like I have my game on a SSD, and even still sometimes it feels like the loading screens are really bad. And I heard it's even like worse on console, or if you're on a regular hard drive for PC. They need to find a way to fucking speed up them loading screens. And sometimes the loading screens, they happen too frequently too. There's certain parts of the game where like it just feels like a big open world, and there's other parts of the game where it's like it just feels like I'm running into a loading screen every freaking time. And it wouldn't be that bad if the loading screens weren't long. So they need to find a way to improve it. They did drop a patch day one that was supposed to improve loading screens for regular hard drives on PC, but from my understanding, it doesn't seem like it got much better. Once again, I don't know if that's technical issues, or technical limitations or something like that, but they got to find a way to speed up the game. I think the loading screens are annoying because it contradicts the main mechanic of the game, which is flying around and being a badass and getting this sense of freedom. And there's no sense of freedom in fucking getting locked up in a loading screen all the damn time. So they really need to speed up that shit. Seventh positive, Strongholds are basically like raids in the game. They're long form missions with harder combat and a boss fight at the end. Right now, there's only 3 strongholds in the game at launch, and those are the easiest ways to get the masterworks and legendary items with the most highest tier armors and weapons. The strongholds are just fun to play with friends because it requires real coordination. The level design, in my opinion, is some of the best in the strongholds, and the boss fights can be fun. I think though they need to drop more strongholds, and like I said, there's supposed to be a big update every month, so hopefully they'll be dropping more strongholds. But for what we have right now, it's fun in my opinion. It's well designed. I just wish that there was more. And my 7th and last negative for the game is the game has bugs and glitches. Now, in my opinion, none of these bugs and glitches are game breaking. I have heard that some people have ran into like an infinite loading screen or something like that. I personally never had that problem in my 50+ hours, but I have ran into the audio bug where like, and it mainly happens when like I'm playing with my friends and we're just comboing our ass off, and all them explosions, it causes the sound to cut off. Then you have to restart the game. I mean, it's not terrible because you have to restart the game and it doesn't happen that often, but it's still annoying that you have to restart your game. Also, I encounter a T-pose, the T-pose glitch all the time. You know what I'm talking about? The default T-pose, where their arms are up, like they're being what's the word I'm looking for? Like Jesus crucified, and they'll just kind of slide away. And it's actually a giveaway to when the enemies are about to disappear. They really need to fix that T-pose glitch. It's just goofy stuff that be happening in these open world games. Most of it is not game breaking, but it's stuff that is like, I guess what annoys me is it's Bioware and you expect better from them, and they need to clean that up. They do need to clean that up because it is unexcusable, especially that audio bug. The game is so awkward to play when there's no audio. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then my 8th and final positive is they are listening. They are listening to the community. I'll give it to them. They've dropped like 3 patches since the game dropped. Then they're constantly fixing things, improving things. They're listening to the community on Reddit and on Twitter if you give real constructive feedback. And that's what I like to see. Now, granted, some would argue that, hey, these things should have been in the game in the first place, or this should have been fixed, and like it should have been great in the first place. Like, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, it is what it is at this point. At least they're listening, because if they weren't listening and they just left the game as is, then you would also be complaining. So I would say at bare minimum, I'll give them a half a W, a lowercase W, because they are listening to the community. What's the name? And because they are listening to the community, I want to give some solutions. I just don't want to sit here and bash the freaking game on how I think they can improve it if they want this game to last long term. All right, so first things first, and most of these solutions around free play, because once you get to the end game, a lot of what you're going to be doing is like legendary contracts, strongholds, and free play to grind for like the higher tier loot. So like in free play, I would like to see fast travel. There are multiple points across the map that you can travel into. What's the name for free play, but it'd be nice to be able to just hit the start button and fast travel to another area instead of, they have like these portals around the map, and if you find the portal, it'll kind of zip you to the other side. But it would be nice if I could just hit the start button and fast travel to where I want to be. Also, it would be nice if they put some markers in free play. Like, I wish I was able to press start and mark where I want me and my friends to go to on the map. It's just a quality of life change, Also, they need to spawn more quests into free play. So the way free play works is you'll fly around, you can shoot the different animals and stuff if you're like into that stuff, you're like weird. And then randomly missions will spawn on the map. And if you complete those missions, you'll get chests, you'll get loot drops or whatever. The problem is, I feel like you'll be flying around for like 5-10 minutes before a freaking mission spawns. They need to be spawning missions like every 2 minutes or every minute. Like, I don't want to sit, especially because for those of you unaware, there's an XP limitation in free play. You can't just stay in free play all day. You only can stay in it for a certain amount of time, and then you got to exit out, get your loot, and then go back in. So it's like, if you're gonna limit my time in free play in terms of gaining XP, can you guys just spawn the fucking quest a little bit quicker? You're just wasting my time. I just want to grind more efficiently. And another efficient way to grind is, I feel like this is another solution they need to add into the game. Allow us to do multiple missions while we're out in the world. It is so annoying that I have to do a freaking contract and then I have to load back, get my loot, go back to the fort, and then hop back into another mission. Just let me do a mission. Like you guys show us what loot we have before we even get, they don't specific loot, but like the rarity of the loot. If I didn't pick up a master quest or a legendary, why do I need to go back to the fucking fort? I didn't get what I wanted, so let me stay out in the world and do another quest before I go back. Just let us double up, triple up on the quest. It'd be nice. It's annoying to have to play one quest at a time. Give us, like I said, and it kind of contradicts the mechanics of the flying. Once again, don't give me that sense of freedom if I'm not able to be free. So I definitely would like to see them do that. Also, it would be nice to see maybe more players in free play. Right now, it's this big ass map in the game, but only 4 players can be in free play. And a lot of times, the randoms that you play with, they'll be on the other side of the map, and it's kind of annoying because everybody can fly. So by the time you get to them on the other side of the map, now they're on the other side of the map because you can't coordinate with them if they don't have a mic. So it'd be nice if there were more players in free play, maybe boost it up to 8, maybe to 12. I don't know what the servers can handle, but if you guys are spawning quests more frequently and there were more players on the map, it would make free play so much more fun. And then last but not least, my other suggestion is new game modes. It would be nice to see some new game modes. I'm sure there's going to be there's going to be new stuff because there's free updates coming out every month. But maybe something like Horde mode to get rare loot, where, like, I don't know, if you do Horde mode on Grandmaster 1, after like 10 waves, you're guaranteed at least a Grandmaster or a Legendary. And if you, like, kind of like the Gears of War shit, or if you do it like Grandmaster 2, you're guaranteed 2 Grandmasters or 2 Masterworks and 1 Legendary. That would be dope, just to see some different type of game modes come into it, kind of how they did with Mass Effect. A lot of people have been wanting PvP. I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about PvP. 50-50. Like, if they do it, like, how are they gonna, like, it's got to be balanced. I'm not gonna be mad if they try to do it, but like, if they do it, it's got to be balanced. I'm 50-50 on that. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe consider it. I know they say they consider it, but like, really consider it, because that's the main thing when I stream this game. People are like, "Does this game have PvP?" So I wouldn't totally dismiss it. Those are just some solutions that I want to throw out there to how they can improve the game. I'm curious to see in the comment section, for those of you who have played, how you think they can improve the game even further. Let me know. So now that we've gotten the positive, the negatives, and the solutions out of the way, what would I give this game? So if you're unfamiliar with my content, I do not give scores. I do not give scores. I do not give games scores. I don't give it out of a 10 for anything like that, because I always feel like people get too caught up in numbers and then they don't want to play a game. I always say either buy it, or wait till the price drops, rent, or just skip it all together. That's kind of how I've always graded games. And there's just as many negatives as there are positives. In my opinion, Anthem, this game's been getting a lot of hate, but in my opinion, Anthem is not as bad as a lot of these YouTubers are saying it is, but it's also not that great either. If anything, in my opinion, Anthem is more so disappointing because this is Bioware and we expect more from them. But if you take a step back and get over the whole, the hate wave, the hate bandwagon that's going on, like, because a lot of people just doing this shit for views. The game is not terrible. It's just not the greatest game ever. And because of that, I would not recommend buying it at $60. I would say wait till either the price drops, wait for it till it's like $30, or either rent it and see how you like it and then decide to buy it. But I wouldn't throw the word skip on this game. Like, it's not the worst fucking game ever, like a lot of people are saying. It's just a wait till the price drops, in my opinion. And those are just my thoughts on Anthem. Hopefully it helped. If you played the game, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're watching the YouTube version, let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you out there, freelance. No. I'm just curious to see how they're gonna continue to support this game. Will it flop, or will the updates really improve the game and bring the game back, kind of how like the Division 1 did with Ubisoft? So those are just my thoughts on Anthem. Hopefully it helped everybody. The last thing that I wanted to talk about in the gaming section is just brief. Just wanted to touch on it, man. Just wanted to reiterate to everybody that competition. And thanks for watching my video. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you'll never miss another video. Also, consider pledging my Patreon. It helps keep the lights on. There's a link in the description box below. Peace.